What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Help a brother out. As you guys know, it is a talk show, so you can call in. And we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at any point during the show, you can call in by calling 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can get into whatever you want. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the YouTube description, or go directly to the YouTube live chat, hit the super chat button, send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air as they come in the best that I can. Amazing stuff. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. So shout out to all you folks watching and tuning in now. I appreciate it. Let's get to it. I do have some super chats from yesterday that I have to get to. I will get to those. Remind me, mods. But, of course, T-Sound and Terry can't remind me because they're no longer mods. Gotcha. So, shout out to y'all and shout out to the live chat. Amazing stuff. So, I have some callers on the line. I will get you callers. Give me a second. Let me lay out the show a little bit. I will get to you, though, so be patient. Amazing stuff. I want to talk about the order a little bit. I want to talk about the order of God, and give an example. Because, in my generation, the order of God is not really talked about or even understood, right? We hear it in the Bible, blah, blah, blah. We hear the pastor say it, blah, blah, blah. But the order of God is not a popular thing with millennials or Gen Z. Most people in general, really. But maybe like the boomers, they kind of get it, But millennials, we don't know about the order. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about the order of God. What is the order of God? God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, woman over children. There is an order to life. And in that order, when things are in order, life is perfection, especially in a marriage. And, of course, people don't talk about it because they haven't experienced it, right? Most haven't experienced it. So what is there to talk about? How could they share what they've learned if they haven't experienced it? I've gotten a glimpse of it. And I didn't ask for it. I didn't know it existed. The only place I heard it was JLP talk about it, right? JLP talked about the order of God and stuff like that. But even when he said it, it didn't really it makes sense, but it didn't really I didn't understand it because I didn't go through it at the time, right? But when it happened, still, I didn't recognize it as it was happening. But then after a while, I started to see, wow, this is not a game. It's the real deal. And I want to talk about that experience a little bit and how that turned out for me. Because I think if millennials understood this, it would change everybody's entire dynamic on dating, on relationships, on friendships, on marriage. It would change everything. If people really understood the value in the order of God, if they could really see and experience it. Because it changes the way you approach things. And it's just a different reality of approaching women, approaching life. So, I just got some glimpses, right? I just got a glimpse. And it happened in a time where I was waking up and understanding life and coming to Bond, which is the organization that has the JLP network, which allows me to do a podcast. So shout out to Bond, shout out to JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson, who is the founder of Bond, for those that don't know. And he preached a message on the order of God. So yeah, I happened to come across a nice lady. And when it happened, it was a weird thing. It wasn't like, oh, that's my wife, or oh, that's the girl I'm gonna be with. It didn't happen that way. It was kind of a weird the way it happened, but I'll get into that part later. But we ended up dating and stuff like that. And it was weird because I couldn't put my finger on what was happening. Like, we were seeing each other, but I heard about sparks in a relationship, and I was being told about sparks, my whole life, that when you go on a date, or when you I don't know, you're supposed to feel these sparks, and I didn't feel that. I wasn't feeling that. And yeah, it was nothing like I had ever experienced. So when there was no sparks, I was like, oh, this is interesting. But there was still like an interest to continue to see this person. So anyway, fast forward, I'll get to the details later if it makes sense. But fast forward, we started getting more involved, and I started to see that we were on the right track, right? And things were just making sense. I was just doing things because I saw to do them, and she was just understanding it, and I would speak on things and she would get it, and it was just happening in a natural way, to where I never had to say I was the leader, and she never had. It wasn't like that. It was just happening, right? Joel was looking for fireworks, like the Katy Perry song. And then the only time, this might be a little bit too descriptive, but the only time, quote unquote, sparks came was like when like the other stuff started getting introduced, like the kissing and like, the hugging. That's when the sparks started to come. And then it dawned on me, is like, wow, what everybody thinks sparks is, they think that it's some type of divine, godly experience, but all it is lust rising. That's all it was. So when I realized that, I was like, wow, sparks is not. Anyway. But yeah, it was just kind of just happening. And in the beginning of it, I really was okay with it working out or not working out. I really didn't have that deep of an interest in her like that either. Like, I wasn't just like deeply interested in her, like, oh, I really want this girl. It wasn't like that at all. Like, at all. Like, I wasn't like into her like that. She was very pretty, very attractive. It wasn't about that, but I just wasn't into her. And because of that, there was no like, temptation, no like, sensual drive to like want to possess her or want to like make sure I get her and say the right things, because I wasn't even that into it, which was another green flag, right? Not a red flag, but a green flag. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so anyways, through the process, it was just kind of happening and it was just kind of working out. And I'm, thinking like, how, this is going really well, extremely well, too well. You know what I mean? And as soon as I realized that, this is where the switch happened. Ha ha ha. This is where the switch happened. As soon as I realized this is going extremely well, and this is how it's supposed to go. This is the order. This is how it's done. This is the way it's supposed to happen. Naturally, on its own. God knows what you need. Right? It's not about desires, lust, and all this stuff. But as soon as I realized that I was on the right track, right, I got excited about it. I'm like, oh, shoot, this might be the one. This might be my wife. I got excited about it. And mind you, she did as well. Now, this is new for us. We ain't never been through this, her or I. We ain't never been to this order of God type of stuff that sparks is not love and building be friends. We never like take your time, no sex out of wedlock. This is new for us, right? We don't know how to navigate in this world. So we got excited. And meanwhile, obviously, there's still a spiritual battle that's going on within, right? So we got excited, and I'll speak for me. She's not here. I got excited, and in my excitement, now my ego's involved. Now I'm poking my chest out. I'm manly, right? Now I'm liking her more than I should. Right? Now my feelings are getting involved. Now I'm taking things personal. Now I don't want to lose her. Now this is the one for me. All these different things. Now I'm controlling the situation unconsciously because I'm excited about it. And it becomes too important. She becomes too important to me. So over time, I'm not even realizing that that's the case. I'm just liking her. I'm like, this is, I like her. And she becomes too important. So we go in and out of the order. We're in at one point because we're back on track. Then we're out of the order. Then we're arguing. We're in, we're back on track. Things are going well. I'm leading, I'm guiding. Then we're out of the order. I'm taking things personal. Now I'm not leading no more. Now, you know what I mean? Spiritual battle going on within. And because of our excitement, it abused the natural process of life, the order. So what happened? God took it away. And God wasn't playing when he did this. Listen, God was not playing. God took it away. And when I say that he took it away, it's like you know how you got like a Band-Aid on say you got a cut on your leg and you have a Band-Aid on the cut, but there's no gauze, right? It's just the Band-Aid and the cut's so big, but the Band-Aid is kind of small. So the sticky part of the Band-Aid also goes on the cut. And then out of nowhere, you just rip it off and some skin kind of comes with it. That's how God did me in this situation. And because my ego got involved and my chest started puffing up. I started trying to judge the situation, try to control the situation, trying to be a leader, all this stuff. I started trying. That's what happened. I started trying. And when that happened, he took it away. He's like, I gave you a good thing and I put it together and you're abusing it and not taking care of it properly. So I'm taking it away. And he didn't just nicely take it away. He ripped that thing away. But I learned so much from that. Because I learned, it humbled me for sure. It humbled me because I was on a high horse, big time. It humbled me for sure. It allowed me to realize that I'm just Joel, for one. I ain't no leader. I ain't no strong man. I ain't no alpha male. I'm just Joel. Because at the end of the day, that's the other stuff is not up to me. Right? Meaning it's because of God. So anyway, a lot more went on in between the lines here, but I'm just giving you guys a brief thing. But it helped me, it humbled me. So what I learned from it ultimately is a couple things. I learned a lot of things, but I'll just name a couple. One is that that all things that happen naturally doesn't mean that they're gonna last forever. And that's okay. We're supposed to just take life day by day and not have a plan, not have a expectation. Just live life day by day. So that way you're not let down, right? That's one thing I learned. And I learned that if it doesn't last, it also doesn't mean it's not from God. Because you learn a lot, and it gave me a glimpse on what the real deal looks like. That's another thing I learned. But lastly, what I learned is about attachment. Most importantly, is about attachment. Is that whether a woman or a man is attached to the person, they put that person or anything they're attached to above God. And when you do that, God ain't playing with you. You go blind. And when I realized when it comes to men and when it comes to women, men, we have to be unattached and set that example. Both people should be unattached, period, right? Have some space. God should be first, right? But men need to lead the way in that because we have to understand the nature of a woman. Even if she's waking up, even if she means well, on Monday, she's an angel. But on Tuesday, she's a demon. That's just the reality. It ain't a personal thing. It doesn't make her evil, right? I'm using those as an example. It doesn't make her a bad person. It doesn't make her evil. But her emotions swing from one thing to the next. And it's hard for a lady to navigate through her emotions sometimes. So one day, she's going to be nice, kind, and sweet. And the next day, she's going to be at your neck. Right? They're going to swing. So if you're attached, meaning like if your feelings are involved and you're deep and you're in there, then you're not going to be able to handle it. You're going to overreact. You're going to try to put your foot down and be manly and end up looking stupid and crazy. So men have to learn how to overcome the attachment to women. How do you overcome the attachment to women? I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I could tell you the Bond answer or what I heard maybe JLP say, but that ain't gonna mean nothing if I don't know it for myself. I don't know. Still working on it myself. But I will tell you that when you are attached, it's extremely hard to deal with it properly. So I'm going to get to the calls in a second, but let me just say one thing. This is for the guy. It's for the fellas. It's for the homies. This for the dogs and the cats. Is everybody, all the guys out here looking for a wife. All the guys want a wife, and they mean well, and they have the best intentions. But we can't look for them. The only reason, in my opinion, it happened for me that one time, and that was years ago. It hadn't happened since. But the reason why it happened before for me is because I was in a position in my life where I wasn't looking, and it wasn't important to me to having one. Almost so much to the point to where, though she was right in front of me, like, I almost didn't recognize it. You know what I mean? I was just going about my life at that time. So God was able to slip it in there. Oh, that sounded weird. But God was able to add that to my life without me overreacting to it or getting too excited about it or getting too happy about it. It was just able to just work naturally. But I had no desire for it. I had no interest in her in the very beginning until I got to know her. And because of that, there was no temptation. There was no sexual temptation. There was no drive. That stuff didn't come till that temptation stuff didn't come till later. In the beginning, there was no temptation. There was nothing because I didn't have an interest. And that's how God adds it. He's not going to add you something that you're going to be tempted by. You know what I mean? He's going to add it so you guys can focus on what really matters, getting to know each other, seeing if there's a real connection there, seeing if you guys both are going to be working on each other in the midst of getting to know each other to see if you guys can go the distance. Right? So I had no desire, no feelings attached to it, but I can see that it was in front of me. So I just acted. And that's the only way it's gonna work. So that's what I got for you. 888-775-3773. You can call in. Let me know what you think. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Have you experienced the same thing? Are you chasing? Right? Are the ladies important to you? Are the men important to you? And blah, 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 blah. Nice. Let me go to Serge out of Texas. Serge is on the line here. Serge, welcome to the show. You're on the air. And then I'll get to your super chats, folks. Go ahead, Serge. Serge. Serge, are you there? Going once. Oh, wait. So, it's on my end. It's on my end. Okay, Serge, could you hear me? Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Right on, Serge. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Let's get right into it.
Right on.
I'll finish with the story was amazing. Joe, I love the stories, man.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Yeah. But you don't got to bring God to your mess, though. Talk about some God took it away. You're such a romantic, and I can relate, man. I can totally relate. But I don't think I had nothing to do with the taking away and the give it.
Okay, fair enough. You, and why not? Why not?
He don't. Because what he brings to you, it don't go away, man.
What he brings to you?
He ain't no Indian giver. He ain't no Indian giver, man. Shout out to Kamala. He ain't no Indian giver, though.
Oh, and why not? Why can't he give it and then you abuse it and you take it away?
Because when he'll give it to you once your heart is changed, but there's no, when your heart is changed, there's no taking it away. Like there's nothing you can do to make God take back the gift that He gives to us. There's nothing. It's already given.
But how could your heart be changed? How do you know that your heart is changed? How do you know your heart doesn't still need changing?
You don't think like that. You just kind of, man, you just, I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think that,
I don't know.
do you think that, that He can give you something to help you grow as a person? If you fumble it, that's on you. It's not on Him.
No. People be saying God gave me a car, and then they got into it, and then they say, "Oh, I fumbled it." No, man, God will give you the. Man, I just don't.
Why
I don't
not
see that.
though? Why not though? Because you got to give me an opposing reason why He does not take away.
Does not take it away. I don't know. You on this one, man. Next one. You on that one. Because I don't want to tell you something out of there. And so I'm just so done. Once you've called me out on that, man, I've been watching it. And it don't make me perfect that I've been watching The Thrill. Because I'm here, bro. I just don't be in that comments like I was before.
Yeah.
I'm totally here on everybody's stuff. But, yo, I wanted to ask you
let me
about
answer
your
really
comment.
quick. So it's because, just so I can understand, so it's because why you said that you can have this one, Joel, but what do you mean by that? Meaning like you don't want to give your opinion on it because you're not sure about your opinion, or what do you mean? What have you learned?
Yeah, I realized, like I said it, that like He don't give it and take it away, but I don't want to think too into it. I just
okay.
like my analogy was that I don't think he will take it away. I don't think God is an Indian giver, and that's good enough for me to see.
Okay.
And it's right.
Right on. I understand that. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
You made a comment in the comment section, and I don't know if he was trolling, so I wanted to ask for clarity.
Yeah.
You said you can't marry the wrong person. Do you remember that comment?
Yeah. Great question.
Do you believe that?
So it kind of all ties back into the same thing I'm saying here, is that I think that all things are possible, for one. And I think that ultimately, let's just say if we step out of line, and I could be wrong here too. Let's just say if we step out of line and, get with a person that we got for them for the wrong reasons, right? Mm-hmm. I think that ultimately in God's master plan, He allowed that as well. I think it's still God's will. And yeah, there may be challenges, stuff that comes with it or whatever the case is, but I think that it's salvageable if two people are committed to working on themselves and working on the marriage. And it's the same thing as when God adds it to me. I believe it to be the same way, is that like, okay, now you have it in front of you. Okay, well, are you working on yourself? Are you communicating? Are you talking? Are you guys working the issues out? If you're not, and if you get your ego get carried away like mine did, then it's gonna slip through your fingers. But it's the same thing to me. Like if you marry somebody, quote unquote, that you weren't supposed to, then all things are possible if they're willing to work on themselves, and you guys are gonna work on it, and not really work on it, but just work on yourselves. Then it can work itself out in the grand scheme of things. But if you're not, and you get caught up, or one person refuses to work on it, or they resent you, or they hate you, and they do all these things, then of course it's gonna fall apart. So I think, to answer your question, is I think God's will is always in it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I, I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all on that one.
You,
Um, hmm?
you know, I just want to add a little bit more is that it's extremely challenging when it happens for the wrong reasons. I'll say that for sure. It's extremely challenging when that's the case. And because now there's too much for the devil to use against each other. So it's far more challenging when it's done in that way, but I don't think it's impossible to make that work if two people are committed to God, putting God first. But if they're not, then it's going to fall through the cracks. So look at the opposite end. For me, it was that it came together as it should, but the challenges, we couldn't see clear through them, her or I. So it fell through the cracks. But I think that was a lesson for me. I see it as a lesson. You know, and I could be wrong, but I see it as a lesson as like, oh, okay, well, you got carried away, you got excited, and you made it too important to you. So now you know next time, keep God first in the relationship.
It could be like that. It could be.
But what do you think?
I got the same situation, man. Same situation. It happened to me. So everything that you said, I don't need to repeat it. So it's the same exact thing. I don't think God wanted that to come together, no matter if I initiated it, pursued it, and then it happened, or if I didn't want it and it came together. If it ends, it ends. I know that there is something that I need to work on within myself. That's the only way I see it. And I think you're saying the same thing.
Well, right on. Do you regret your last situations? 'Cause I know you were married previously.
No,
you don't.
I don't regret it.
Oh, okay.
No, that's saying it was amazing. And it was a great experience, and I got to see myself on a spiritual level, and
Nice.
yeah, I learned so much in that. I wouldn't change that at all.
Nice.
Didn't take me long to get over it. Devil be having a way to fool you though, make you think that you over it. But I know the first couple of days I was looking at her as a baby killer. Then once I flipped it to me, I was like, okay, I'm the baby killer too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Any man that sleeps with the devil's daughter, and the devil try to make you think, oh, she a bad person because she had the AB, and then I realized, no, I'm just as guilty, because why would I get with someone who would do something like that? I'm better than that. God's built me strong to anticipate those things, and I'm not watching. And now that I can see a little bit more clearly, I would like to share this scenario that happened so people can know like why it's so important to watch yourself. So the other day, I was in these high-class neighborhoods doing what I do with the dogs, a little high-end dog personal trainer / walker, I guess.
Nice.
And my client in that neighborhood was Indian, and I was actually passing some Indian people, and these Indian people was being some Karens, right? I crossed the street with the dog because I know how the Indians could be, right? And for some reason he was like, "Yo, he's like, you need to pick up your leash and hold it. It's the law." And that's how he came. That's exactly how he came at me. And I was like, I understand, but I that's why I crossed the street. I don't mean no harm. He's not gonna come up to you. He's really good. He's like, I'm gonna call the police on you. Blah blah blah. It's being nice.
Yeah.
Being nice. And I told him, it's all love, man. I'll see you again at around this time. I told him my name, and I was just like, it's all love. And he's playing alpha because his wife was by, and the devil in me started. And I talk so much about how ignorant black folks be when all that ignorance is still in me.
And you guys, so you went out, you.
Let me tell you what I did.
Okay.
And deep down inside, I can see it. I'm watching me. And after he just kept prowling, kept going at him, I finally was like, "Yo, you lucky I'm working on myself. I would beat your ass." It's for something in me had to tell him what I would do. And I was just like, I am the worst. I'm a hypocrite.
But no, that's great that you saw it and you recognized it in yourself and you're being honest
I
with
saw
yourself.
it instantly.
But let me ask about the
Mhm.
situation. Do you think that he was wrong for saying about the leash thing, or do you think that you were wrong for not having the dog on the leash? I mean, yeah.
The dog was on the leash. The leash, it's my job to get the dog to respond off the leash. So I'm training the dog on the walk.
Okay, on
So
the walk.
I gotta drop the leash. The leash is dragging.
Okay. And is he wrong
Yeah.
for being suspicious about that? Is the question?
No, he's not. He's not wrong for wanting me to pick it up for the
Yeah.
safety of maybe him and his wife.
Yeah.
His approach, I think,
Right.
it really turned me off.
Yeah.
And because he was like telling me what to do, and for some reason I was just like, I don't, man to
Yeah.
man, like you didn't ask. So I
Yeah.
was like really turned off, and I was trying to be nice, and the devil didn't want to go. The devil in me was like, I'm gonna let him know.
No.
After like literally 5 minutes, man, literally as he was walking off with his wife, and I'm trying to be all about love, but as I was being about love, he kept getting he kept turning up more. And his wife was even like, baby, like let's go. Like,
Yeah.
like looking at me like, he black. We don't never know what he can do.
Yeah.
Yo, she gave that
Yeah.
look, and I was just trying to keep it light. And eventually I was just like, you know what?
Lost the cool.
I want to let you know, like, bro, you wasn't shaking nothing. I was really being nice.
No, and the crazy thing is that, it happens too. For one, it happens, and as much as we want to avoid it like getting the best of us, at the end of the day, sometimes it does, and that's fine. That's okay. We just got to learn from it and keep it moving. But, he wasn't wrong in the sense of not having the dog, not holding the dog's leash, because from the person who doesn't know the dog, it looks dangerous or whatever the case is. But the way he approached it could have been a little bit better. But yeah, because in LA, I see girls with dogs on the leash, but they have pit bulls, and these little girls holding these pit bulls. They're grown women, right? But the pit bull is like, they're like, neck is being cranked when the dog is trying to tug on the. I'm like, there ain't no way if this dog got angry, you can control this dog, and it's not safe. So I can understand his concern. So I was just hoping to see that you understood that part, but it seems like you were more upset about the way he came at you.
No, I definitely understood that, the part of the leash. But there's, to me, I thought I did my due diligence by, crossing. And I don't have to do this with the white folks, by the way. Shout out to the whites. I don't got to do this with them, because they totally, I don't care nobody say. In them white communities, it's lovely. They love Serge.
Nice.
We speak, we pass, and then I even asked them about the dog, like how do they feel? Started speaking a little more, like, hey, excuse me, is the dog? Would you want me to hold? Everybody's like, no, that dog is amazing with you. Like what?
Okay.
And then I realized that, okay, I do have to, like you said, I do have to be more aware of who might be fearful that didn't say nothing that I'm passing on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, sure.
That's all. Right on, Serge. That's cool. It's self-reflection, and we all got to do it. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the comments on the questions about the marriage thing.
The marriage thing? Yeah. Nice. All right, I'm listening now.
All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Let me get to your super chat here. I'm trying to just, of course, when I'm about to read, what a mess. But I like, that's cool that Serge is, keeping the eyes on himself, and then also trying like not to get too caught up in his opinions and not speak on things that he's not fully sure about. And that's work. That's progress. So right on, Serge. He trying. We all try. The Key bought a donut and says, Joel, this was an Acts 19:15 moment. Please read in full. The evil spirit answered them. He's referring to the situation I spoke about yesterday on the Sonia Massey shooting with the cop. The evil spirit answered them, Jesus I know, and Paul I recognize, but who are you? Beware in wielding the sword without authority. God is not mocked. He's referring to the cop, I believe. It was one devil provoking another, and the end is always destruction. He's referring to the lady with the pot saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And then the cop saying, what? I'll shoot you in the bleep, bleep face. You bleep, bleep. He said it is one devil provoking another, and the end is always destruction. Good point, the Key. I agree. Is that they both will start in mess. One started it, one ended it. So I agree, the Key, you're right. He says, it's interesting to note these types of incidents are occurring in liberal states. Illinois, Minneapolis, months prior to the election. Evil is very strategic and organized in executing its goals. Executing. That's so bad. Executing its goals. Right on, the Key. And my mind right now was the enemy. Was trying to give me to make up an excuse why I missaid executing. Like, tell them that you said it because you got a headache or something stupid. That your eyes aren't clear. What a mess. Robbie Blackie, thank you, the Key. I appreciate it. Rob Blackie, how were you able to even introduce the kissing if there were no sparks in the beginning? You had sparks all along. Wake up. Great point, Rob Blackie. But no, the only reason why I decided I wanted to kiss her without being inappropriate is because we had went on a few dates already and that wasn't happening. And so I thought I think it's time. Literally, that was my thought. I was like, I think I should kiss her now. It wasn't natural. It wasn't led, whatever. It wasn't none of that stuff. It was me thinking in my mind, overthinking, like, I think that if I don't, then I'll look crazy, right? Caring about that kind of stuff, stupid stuff. And then when it happened, it was like nothing. The first time, it was like nothing. And then when we started kissing, all right, I'm saying too much. Then that's when those false sparks came, and that's when it was downhill after that. Because, kissing and hugging, if you do too much of it, it's a mess. Especially if you're not married and blah, 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 blah. So there was no sparks, and that's how it should be. At least in the initial state, at least before, as you're getting to know the person, you guys should just be chilling. Because you don't even know how is there sparks if you don't even know the person? It's all in the mind, right? It's all just the idea of it, the idea of the person. Because how is there going to be a spark and you don't even know who this person is at all? You know nothing about the person. So you can't like them. How you like someone you don't know? We think we like them because we get this lust, which comes from an idea that they're the one, or they're right for you, or they're so beautiful and hot and sexy. It's an idea, but it's not based off of reality. So that's where the spark came from afterwards, because then, you get the kissing, you get the feeling. So that's what that was. But thanks for the super chat. Oh, Rob Blackie sends a generous donation. Right on, Rob Blackie. I appreciate it. But there were not sparks all along. Hate to break it to you. Only when I got into my head. That's the only time sparks started going. But thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man. Oh, shoot. We got some calls. Let me get back to the calls. Frederick with the super chat from yesterday. Read Terry Strange's super chat yesterday at Joelle. Let God cook. He wanted me to read her super chat so she would come back because Terry left because I was talking about women in politics and then something else. She abandoned me. I was a lot more evil this is from Terry. I was a lot more evil when I wasn't invested in getting my bag. Now I am far more productive and do far more good for myself and others. Right on, Terry. That's working for you. More power to you. Get your bag. You know what I mean? Do your thing. I don't think Terry's married, so she can go get her bag, make her money. Money, 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 money. Terry. Right on, Terry. Let me go to Mr. Pink out of California. Mr. Pink, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Joel?
All is well, Mr. Pink. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, you too, bud. I just kind of had a couple observations about Serge's call a minute ago.
Okay.
Seems like dudes kind of really taking to heart the watch your thoughts thing, and that's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
I think you noticed that too.
Yeah.
I that's the biggest thing for me about Jesse's message is when you do that, when you really drop your thoughts and you drop the identities and stuff, stop comparing yourself to other people, you really stop the overreactions, and you start like watching yourself in those moments where you could make a decision to go down this road or that road, good or bad. An overreaction either way is always going to be wrong. You just let that situation happen as it is.
Yeah.
And just kind of move on with your day. I used to be in the position of the Indian guy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I would be the one tripping out, trying to tell people, "What are you doing with your leash?" Rah!
Yeah, the overreactor, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the guy had a point. I do agree. And I do, because I have a dog, right? But he's not necessarily nice to other dogs.
Mm.
And then I walk him around in San Francisco, and there's all these people with these kind of yuppie dogs that are real small, and they think they can just go wherever and let them walk halfway down the block behind them, no leash,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that used to really, I mean, it still doesn't, like, it's not okay to me.
Yeah.
Because my dog, if they ran up to my dog, he would just, like, chomp their face.
Right.
Just get ticked right away.
Right.
But, like dog, like owner, I used to be mega overreactionary to that kind of situation. And I would kind of, this was years ago before I was listening to Jesse, I would kind of shout at the person, what's wrong with you? Inconsiderate, carrying out, before I really even understood, like, the perception of what was going on there. And it's like the whole thing about, wait and see, watch yourself in those moments, That's really helped me get over a lot of that stuff. Don't get in your head. Don't let, what you're thinking in the moment, like, don't speak that out loud.
Yeah.
Don't move down that path as soon as it's happening. You just kind of let life happen.
Let life happen, man. That's perfect. How you said it, let life happen, because when you get caught up and when we get in the thoughts and we get the feelings, then we overreact, or we get caught up, or we do certain things. And when we just let life happen, kind of just surrender to God's will, it's not easy to do, but you'll never be led astray, because you're letting God lead you. You're just trusting His process and you're letting go. So it's a beautiful thing when you can recognize and grow into just watching your thoughts and not getting caught up so much,
Yeah, I mean, one way Jesse put it, it was like, I think it was some point last year, but this really stuck with me ever since he said it, is he said that life is going to come at you either way. So when are you going to get out the way?
Yeah.
You remember when he said that a while back? He said, when are you going to get out of the way?
I do. And it's so true. And it's so simple. The crazy thing is so simple, but it's like, for the hard-headed folks, including myself, it's like, it's almost too simple, because it's like all you have to do, because what comes with it, and let me know if you relate or not, but what comes with it is like, you have to deny the ego, right? You have to endure. You have to kind of go through the passing of the thrills. And sometimes those thrills are real loud, right? And they bring this type of satisfaction or whatever. So we don't always want to surrender to life.
Yeah, whether they're good or bad thrills too.
Right, exactly.
Or your perception of what that is.
Right.
In those moments, even if like it would make you feel good to say something to the person that's going off on you, or saying something to the person that you think you need to go off on.
Right.
It really gains nothing for either person at the end. It's like most of the time, if you overreact in anger to somebody doing something that you don't like, that's going to cause that person to double down on the thing that they're doing just to protest your disagreement.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy to me. So
Exactly.
If you just like let that situation ride, it's not. It's like you were saying. God is a lot more simple than people let it be.
Yeah.
He really just works in like basic truths.
Yeah.
Life is happening as it is. It's like Jesse's like, God's not going to come and save you from your hell. He's gonna, you have to decide to follow Christ, to follow the right way to be.
Yeah.
And that's true. But he's going to let you, suffer and die if that's what you want to do.
If that's what you want to do. Yeah. And that's just what it is. That's just the reality. He'll let you suffer and die. And in that suffering, that's when we cry out. So that's why God lets us suffer, because He wants us to go to Him, because we want to, not by force or not by judgment by Him or anything like that. He'll let us just go until we're ready to make a change. So great points, Mr. Pink. Any last comments before I move the calls?
Well, I'll just say one thing is that I will say kudos to you, because the chat has been much less emotional lately, and I wonder see if you can figure out why.
I think I might have a clue.
Let's do some deduction. All right.
Right on, Mr. Big Guy. Appreciate it, man. Call me again.
All right, cool. You too.
All right. Wild guess. Nice. I gotta end here. I can take one more call, and then I gotta end. Let me go to Frederick out of Los Angeles. Frederick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on? Good afternoon, Joel.
All is well, Frederick. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for
Right
taking
on.
my call. It's a whole bunch of watching. You know what I'm saying? Why is it so much watching going on when people have to watch themselves?
What do you
It's
mean?
almost like, huh?
What do you mean?
It seems like every day they ain't sure of themselves, like they don't know who they are. That's why I don't like. You're never gonna be healed, or when are they gonna learn themselves and not know? Like you gotta be having the confidence and be the light where people are starting to watch you. Can't nobody watch you. Watch yourself. If you uncertain about who you are and you keep on watching yourself,
But
that's uncertainty.
Well,
you can't lead like that.
I'm confused by what you mean, because even if you know yourself, you still gotta watch watch those thoughts, watch yourself, and be aware. So what exactly do you mean?
Know, you pretty much know who you are. Other people watch you. Like that's like when somebody know when you walk in the room, they know in society who not to try. You know what I'm saying? Crazy don't play stupid when it comes to somebody that they know will mess them up. In reality, come on, let's talk for real.
But so do you?
And if you always thinking, I'm not gonna never get angry and live life like that, that you just like always gonna be coming to God. You're gonna let people suppress you where you stay at the forefront of the church praying for God because you need His help, and that's where they want you at.
Well, you may be making a point. Well, you may be making a point for it, but I'm just not sure what you mean by you shouldn't be watching yourself. What do you mean by if you know yourself, you don't watch yourself?
Trust and have faith that you are with the right side of good, and you're gonna walk in it. You don't have to think that I'm gonna do bad or I'm not a sinner and I'm gonna watch myself do this sin and all the sins are forgiven because Christ came. No, that's why people are suffering. They want to do wrong and
so what you're saying,
be saved too.
Let me just clear it up. So what you're saying is that you shouldn't be so caught up in trying to figure out if you're doing the right or wrong thing. You should just let go, trust God, and live your life type of thing.
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%. That's more clear. That's more clear. I totally understand that. Because when you get caught up trying to figure your life out and watch yourself and pay so much attention and all this emphasis, you end up actually blinding yourself and not just being free and living life. So I agree to that.
And co-signing a bunch of BS. You right. Yep.
Right on. Well, I get that point, Frederick, and you're right. We all gotta just let go and just trust God, or else it's not faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Because I don't know. Like I was in church and I was talking about how Jesse started the church off. It was like when God made man and woman together, they became one flesh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost practical thinking once you become like, if she was thirsty, he knew she was thirsty, whether they married or not. It's almost common law after 10 years. He's going to go get her something to drink as a practical thought.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. I totally understand
This ain't about ego no more. This is about
us.
You know, if it was like that. But that's how it should be when you're looking for your mate. It's either going to be like this or it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Let God cook.
God's plan, and I agreed with that point as well. I was making a similar point as well. But I appreciate it, Frederick. I'm so out of time. Let God cook you right. Thanks for the call, man. Call me again. The rest of the callers, I can't get to it. I have a message. To Frederick, it says, that's what he is saying. I don't quite know what he means by that, but if it makes sense to you, Frederick, that message was for you. But I gotta end. Thank you guys for tuning in. Amazing stuff, amazing calls, super chats. Shout out to Harmony, my homie Harmony. Shout out to Harmony, fist bump. That's the homie. She super chatted last minute here. I appreciate it, Harmony. Shout out to he said that's not what you're saying. Anyway, shout out to the chat, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Y'all are amazing. I'm back here on Monday. No show for me tomorrow. No Joel Friday TV on Friday. Go figure, right? But it's all good. We got to work out some schedule stuff. But Monday, I'm back here. And I'll see you guys Monday. All right? Don't forget, on Monday at 2 p.m., Punchy TV's brand new show with the JLP host. All JLP hosts will be starting a show together called Punchy TV, and the first episode releases live on Monday at 2 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And make sure you tell your peoples about it. All right, y'all. I got to go. Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Bye.